All right. I wanted to offer up my thoughts on the DNC's Unity Tour that people have been talking about. I'll post some links to some videos in the description. But like a number of people that I listen to on YouTube, Secular Talk, Humanist Report, are taking issue with this concept. Like basically, what's going on is the DNC is putting on this thing with Bernie Sanders, and it was supposed to be with Tom Perez, but we'll get into that in a second. And a couple of people, and basically going around the country to various red states, and like what it sounds, a unity tour, like kind of bringing people together, get people motivated and fired up and whatnot. And a lot of the commentators I listen to, like they take issue with sort of Bernie Sanders' participation in this whole thing. Like they feel that basically the DNC is sort of using Bernie as a mascot in an attempt to lure in progressives to vote for them, but without them having to actually change anything. Which, honestly, I'm pretty sure Bernie has gone over this with them, ad nauseum over the past number of months. That just talking the talk's not going to cut it. That, like, honestly, if right now, Bernie just went full on for the gung ho for the Democratic Party, oh, we gotta support him, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta fight Trump and all this stuff, and that's all we need to do. Honestly, I think he would lose supporters like you wouldn't believe. Like, it's not about the person in particular. It's that he's actually, like, it's the issues the topics, the issues that he's actually talking about that has drawn people to him. It's like, that's the answer. It's as simple as that. What they have to do is to actually start saying, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but anyway. So basically that's what I feel, that's the feeling I'm getting, is that they don't really, like, okay, well, why is Bernie doing this? Like, the DNC has shown no signs of, rejecting corporate money or corporate donors, of actually getting behind single payer or $15 minimum wage. Why is he being a part of this when they're just using him? Is he being naive? And honestly, I don't think so. And let me kind of go into this. Like, you probably see me reading on the screen here because I actually managed to write a bit about this. So, let me kind of delve into my opinion, my take on this, on his involvement, because I don't think Bernie's being naive in this situation. So here it goes. Here's my opinion time. It's starting right now. I'm going now. Anyway, so I was actually able to go to one of these rallies, to the one in Grand Prairie, Texas. By the way, I actually have videos of the speech that Bernie gave and the speech by Jim Hightower of the Hightower Lowdown. Links in the description. And anyway, during his 40-minute speech, Bernie devoted, I think it was like 30 seconds of out of 40 minutes. I think about 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a minute tops, went towards even mentioning the Democratic Party. And even that was basically encouraging people to, sort of a get out the vote kind of thing, that we need to get voter turnout boosted, we need people to vote, we need people to get active in their party, and things like that. Now, the rest of and like the rest was sort of broken up into sections, and those sections were, you had the now legendary, Bernie speech, that, if you are a supporter of Senator Sanders, you have absolutely heard multiple times, because it's true, and it's probably about pretty much the same issues he's been pushing since like the '90s, early '90s. You had like the get out the vote section. You had a section about introducing legislation for a $15 minimum wage. A section where, even a section where, while he didn't specifically mention groups like Brand New Congress or Justice Democrats, he did mention our revolution. But anyway, he did say that normal Americans running for office was essential for the future of our country. And that was the mood, or the tone that I took away from it. Was that he kept the actual mention of the Democratic Party to a bare minimum, and specifically focused on that, on pushing the issues, as he always does, on encouraging people to vote, and specifically encouraging people to run for office. Teachers, doctors, firefighters, police, construction workers, encouraging regular people, saying, hey, you can do this. You can be a part of the government. You can help change things. You need to run for school board, for mayor, for state legislature, for, federal government. You need to run for those offices. We need candidates, that represent the people. And that reminded me, and basically, in my opinion, really, this tour, or at least it has become what it is, or at least has become, is essentially a nationwide, Bernie Sanders rally with the DNC's blessing and on their dime. Because honestly, it would be kind of weird if he just sort of did it on his own. But, and it reminds me, like, the tone of his speech reminds me of an article I read. I can't, I'll go back through and see if I can find the article. But it was a sort of a history of Bernie Sanders' political career. And it said that, in the article, they said that when he was in Vermont, still is, but when he first ran for office in Vermont, I believe it was for mayor of, I think it was Burlington, Vermont, I think. Honestly, I can't, if it's not Burlington, then insert the name of the town there. Anyway, it was where he ran for mayor. Now, he ran for that office with essentially the same kind of platform that he runs with now. Being for the working people, helping to strengthen the middle class, provide services, expanding, providing things for the people. And he won that election, and he got in office, and then he found that he had problems getting, any of the policies that he campaigned on enacted, mainly because that, while he was ready to get shit done and change things, the rest, like everyone else around him, the city council, all the other elected offices, they were still the old guard, the establishment for that area. The people who basically had a hand in setting up that current system that had issues that he felt need to be addressed. And were profiting from it, or were just fine with that setup. So he couldn't get anything done. And so then what he did, kind of like today with the Democratic Party, So what he ended up doing was that the next election cycle, he basically found like-minded individuals in the town, just regular everyday people, who he was able to convince to run for office, and then he just like campaigned his ass off for them, and they won, and he was able to drive that change, where it was actually able to replace enough of the lower level sort of elected officials in the town, so that he could actually start getting his agenda put through. And to me, it looks like what I take away from this is that he's basically pushing the same plan on a national level. And that, yes, he is pushing people to run as Democrats in red states and everything, which would help the establishment, Democratic Party. But he's pushing for his kind of people. All right, candidates that will push his agenda, will push for Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, mandatory paid sick leave, raising taxes on the rich and on corporations, getting money out of politics. And basically, he's, in my opinion, that's what's going on. He's pushing for essentially a progressive takeover of the Democratic Party, and the DNC is paying for it. And because when you look at it too, to me it makes sense, because there's no way someone like Hillary Clinton or someone like Tom Perez or someone like that, those type of, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, shit like that, those people are not going to stand a chance in some place like Texas or in Kansas or any other real deep red state. However, when you get politicians, when you get people running on a platform like Bernie Sanders has run on issues that he runs on, I mean, look at it, it's now all over the internet, that town hall in West Virginia. Is it West Virginia or is it Kentucky? One of the coal. I think it was Kentucky. It was the state that Mitch McConnell's from. Or actually, no, I'm pretty sure it was West Virginia. Anyway, not all that important. They're both really red states. And he was getting, roomfuls of friggin' Trump voters cheering on his policies, because those policies are very popular with people, and actually promising to get shit done. That's what's popular. That's what is going to get people out to vote and is going to win elections. Not this mamby-pamby, mushy, morals and values, platitudes bullshit that the DNC likes to push, so that people will get distracted and don't actually focus on what's going on, which is nothing. So, while he is pushing people to run as Democrats and trying to get more excitement going for the Democratic Party, he's pushing for people like him, like real progressives, working people, regular everyday Americans to run for office, to get involved in government, and to essentially take over the party. He's basically pushing the plan of Justice Democrats without specifically mentioning them. And, why not specifically mention them? I don't know. Maybe it's to kind of maybe it's to kind of be a little more stealthy about what the plan is. But in my opinion, to me, that's what's going on. That's what I got from it. Actually being there and seeing it. By the way, Tom Perez didn't show up to that one either, because of some unfortunate, let's just say less than stellar reactions from the crowds at previous rallies. Yeah, they booed his ass off stage. You can see it. I'll post a link to a video, but it's you can see just night and day. Bernie's there and they're just cheering, they're holding up signs and all that stuff. Tom comes out and they're just this bitch, get the fuck off the stage. Get like the freaking janitor to come talk. He's probably got better ideas than you do. So yeah. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Bernie has been dealing with these people. In my opinion, I don't know. I don't think he's being naive. I really don't. I think he's been involved in this system of government a lot of times with these same people for a long time. And he's had situations like this before, like I said, in his early political career, where he basically had to kind of sway the elections of like the whole city government to finally start getting stuff done. And I think that's a plan that has worked for him in the past, and I think it's what he's going for now. So yeah, I'm willing to give him some rope on this one. Let's see what his plan is. Anyway, that's all for this one. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike, follow, whatever. All of them would be preferable. That'd be cool. You just click the button there. And I'll see you next time.